When the person preaching submission is running multiple businesses and a national organization, it's not faith, it's branding. Welcome to Media Autopsy, where we dissect the stories the media worships and expose the truth hiding underneath the headlines. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the scalpel icon because today's dissection is going to cut deep. Erika Kirk built her platform telling women to stay small, that ambition was dangerous, that a woman's place was in the home, and that boss babe culture was toxic. But behind the halo, she was building brands, running companies, and now leads one of the biggest political organizations in the country. Tonight, we're opening the file on the woman who preaches submission while managing an empire. Because when someone hides ambition behind a Bible verse, there's always something they don't want you to see.
There have been cameras all over my friends and family mourning. There have been cameras all over me.
Your cameras? Paparazzi isn't following you around?
Analyzing my every move, analyzing my every smile, my every tear. We deserve to have cameras in there. There's nothing to hide. I know there's not, because I've seen what the case is built on.
We do not see anything that looks like a gun in his pants. We don't see it. Where is the gun, according to the FBI, in this video?
Tonight to be able to introduce to you a very, very dear friend and his wife.
They're processing their guilt in the way that their grief, thank you.
No one will ever replace my husband, but I do see some similarities of my husband and Jeannie.
And my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
The minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, "Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray."
When we talk about the modern blend of faith, politics, and personal branding, a few figures capture it quite like Erika Kirk. Before she became a face of faith-based activism, she spent several years living in New York City, dabbling in media, real estate, and reality TV.
Jordan's probably a virgin, so I'm setting Jordan up with my friend Erika. She's beautiful, and she happens to be religious. Oh, yeah, they are. If you don't take this to the next level, God help you.
But her real roots? They're in Arizona, where her community and charity ties run deep. Leaders are made, they are not born. That was Erika Kirk's high school yearbook quote.
Men should look for women that are willing to submit, which is basically a non-feminist woman.
Right.
She graduated in 2007 from Notre Dame Preparatory High School in Scottsdale, Arizona, a Catholic high school. The same graduating class as Survivor contestant Joe Anglim. And this is one of her relationships that she maintained throughout her life. She was such close friends with Joe from Survivor that she assumed the opposite gender role in his wedding as a groomswoman. Even at 17, Erika projected ambition, drive, and a desire to lead, traits celebrated at her Catholic college prep school, but strangely at odds with the submission she would later preach as an evangelical influencer.
I didn't realize how toxic that boss babe world was until when I got married. Boss babe culture is so unbelievably toxic. Absolutely toxic. And if you're a Christian, it is completely antithetical to the gospel.
Notre Dame Prep teaches service, humility, and shared responsibility, the classic Catholic model of leadership. Yet Erika's quote, "Leaders are made, not born," reads like a declaration of destiny, doesn't it? She wasn't the shy parish volunteer. She was the student who wanted the microphone. Former classmates describe her as competitive, outgoing, and confident, qualities that would later define her pageant and media career.
Hi, I'm Junior Renteria, National Makeup Artist for Rain Cosmetics, here with Erika, Miss Arizona.
Hi.
After graduation, Erika entered Miss Arizona USA, launched small charities, hosted podcasts, and built a social media brand around hustle and self-discipline.
You can't be looking like Adam Sandler and expect that you're going to...
And men, just figure out ways to make more money. I don't want to say it's easy, because it's not necessarily easy.
Right.
But it's easy to not be poor if you are a man.
Her tone was motivational, part Catholic value, entrepreneur, part wellness influencer. The gospel she now cites to justify submission never appeared in those early posts. Back then, her message was work hard, lead boldly, and rise. So when Charlie Kirk started expanding Turning Point USA's headquarters in Phoenix, was it fate or was it strategy? Let's look a little bit closer. Public records and interviews show Erika lived in New York for roughly 5 years before marrying Charlie. At that exact same time, he was rolling out Turning Point's new campus in Phoenix. Now, she already had charity visibility from her pageant days and her nonprofit, Everyday Heroes Like You. Those were her Arizona-based connections. So it's fair to ask, was Charlie pursuing love, or was he courting leverage? Did her Arizona network provide the local credibility his movement needed? It's not a conspiracy. It's a pattern we've seen before in political branding marriages.
He came up to me afterwards and he was like, hey, we're starting this, or we have this organization and we're starting it in Arizona, would love for you to be a part of it. And it was one of those things where everything he said sounded super exciting, but I was getting ready to move to New York. And that was a season of life that I really prayed about, and it was something that I needed to move on towards. And so I said, thank you for all the information, but I am moving to Manhattan. And I was like, stay in touch. And we didn't really stay in touch all that much. And then I went to Israel.
In 2018, Erika traveled to Israel, a trip she and Charlie Kirk would later frame as fate. Both were there simultaneously, and the story goes that meeting in the Holy Land sealed their connection. The symbolism is striking.
And I saw someone who looked super familiar, but I've never talked to them or met them before. And I looked at him and I was like, turned over to my mom and I was like, he looks really familiar, and didn't say anything. And then came back home and got a message from Tyler, from who I had met at the Trump rally, and he was saying, hey, you should come to Turning Point's office. We're having an office opening. We'd like to discuss with you about everything that we're doing with the faith component side of things. And yeah, we met at the office very briefly. And that was you that was standing in line in Israel.
Catholic pilgrims traditionally center their faith on Rome and the Vatican, while evangelicals fixate on Israel as the stage for prophecy and politics. This was the first clear sign that her public identity was shifting from faith-based charity to political performance. Back in 2015, Erika posted about how she can rent a baby for a TV role. A throwaway joke, maybe, but it's a long way from the trad wife persona we see today.
Do you feel safe?
What are they going to threaten me with? Going to heaven sooner to be with my husband?
What do I have to be scared of? What are they going to take away from me? Are they going to send me to heaven sooner to be with my husband? It's almost as if she forgot that she had children, that she had 2 babies. She is one of those image editing classic influencers where she rewrites the story for the next audience. So in her pre-Charlie days, it was all about glam, Instagram, likes, getting on reality shows. Then we have her in 2016, a few weeks after the biggest mass shooting in history. She's photographed posing with AR-15 style rifles. Was it just poor timing or a tone-deaf commitment to a brand that prizes provocation over empathy? Erika married Charlie Kirk in 2021. Together, they became a brand, preaching that women should stay home, raise children, and submit to their husbands. The very opposite of her teenage motto about leadership. Catholic teaching calls for mutual submission in marriage. Their rhetoric echoed evangelical complementarianism, where authority flows one way, downward. The irony? While she told women to be quiet and domestic, she herself was building several companies in the background. Today, Erika's tone has shifted again. Her speeches talk about spiritual warfare, fighting evil, and being unafraid to die. For some, that's devotion. For others, it's performance. Media analysts call this martyr branding, the art of turning conviction into currency. In a social media ecosystem that thrives on extremes, the louder the faith, the higher the engagement.
Our battle is not simply a political one. Above all, it is spiritual. It is spiritual. The spiritual warfare is palpable.
Maybe it's not about theology at all. Maybe it's about algorithmic reward. Now look at the overlap. Arizona pageants, local charities, family ties near defense and nonprofit circles. Add to that a few years in New York's media world, modeling, TV appearances, networking, and you get a perfect resume for the new right-wing influencer archetype. Part celebrity, part spokesperson, part brand.
And now he wears the crown of a righteous martyr. Heaven gained what earth could no longer contain. A free man made fully free. To all watching, this is not a ceremony. This is a commissioning.
The message may sound spiritual, but the structure, it's pure marketing.
If you're a pastor, join our movement at TPUSA Faith. And if you're a parent, I highly recommend that you come to America Fest in December. Sign up right now for that because we would love to see you.
Got a turning point letter from the desk of Erika Kirk. And she is using Charlie Kirk's death as a reason to collect money.
So whether you see her as authentic or calculated, Erika Kirk represents a new model of influence, where faith, fame, and funding all intertwine. Her path from New York apartments to Arizona megachurches isn't just one woman's story. It's a mirror of how belief is branded and how branding becomes belief. Charlie Kirk was raised in the evangelical tradition, yet his funeral was held in a Catholic church, a choice that reflects Erika's faith and background, not necessarily his own. That contrast captures the complexity of their public image. An evangelical icon laid to rest in a Catholic cemetery.
But most important of all, if you aren't a member of a church, I beg you to join one. A Bible-believing church.
Erika Kirk, educated in Catholic theology, knows the scripture that warns, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. And yet, her public image borrows the tone of evangelical populism. Submission, spiritual warfare, and fear packaged as faith.
Being on campus right now for me is a spiritual reclaiming of territory.
It stands in tension with the Catholic emphasis on reflection, conscience, and humility she once embodied. Whether this transformation was conviction or calculation, the result is unmistakable. A Catholic voice delivering an evangelical script to an audience eager for certainty. And therein lies the paradox at the center of Erika Kirk's story. A woman formed by Catholic education, now leading an empire built on evangelical emotion.
Will you be proud of that when you get to heaven and stand before the Lord?
Erika Fronsvy Kirk's story is a study in contradictions, a Catholic education preaching humility, a teenage quote declaring ambition, and an adult persona selling submission while seizing control. From Notre Dame prep halls in Scottsdale to political pulpits in Washington, her path raises one question. Was this faith or branding all along? Because if leaders are made, Erika Kirk has certainly made herself one. The only debate is, what gospel is she actually following?
He's in heaven. and he sees everything full picture. And I truly believe that if the Lord, which this does not happen, but if the Lord gave him an option to return back to earth, and if the Lord said, this is what your death is going to be the catalyst for, do you want to go back and exchange it? He'd say no. Wow, he'd say no.
I'm Wolf from Media Autopsy, where we don't cancel, we analyze.